Hi everyone, I am back with a Spectrum Noir video series. So this being the first one, I'm just going to go over the markers and my storage for now. So these are actually the old version of the Spectrum Noir markers, and I got one at one of my scrapbook expos, and then my BFF in California got one at hers, and then she just mailed it to me. Neither one of us knew much about Spectrum Noir at the time. So these are a couple of years old, actually. And so this is what they used to look like. They kind of have like a square barrel, and then it's painted white for this says a fine tip and this says a broad tip. So this is what they looked like. And the caps sometimes are really hard to get off. So there's they're calling it a bullet tip now. And then here is the chisel tip. So like I said, these are the old ones. And I have since bought, and actually just a few months ago, I bought the entire set of 168 colors. So this is what the new ones look like. They are a hexagon shape, just like that. They have this little rubber grip on each side. And then the little gray band here marks the bullet tip, and then the side that's just black is the chisel tip. And it's also in the rubber. So this shows the chisel and this one shows the bullet. So they look the same. There's that one. And the chisel tip. Now for this, these are called the next generation Spectrum Noirs. So you can actually purchase brush nibs to replace the chisel nib with, which I have done to a few of mine. And I've only done it with some of the colors that I use consistently for hair, and I'll go into all that again later. But so these are the markers. Now this one, I wanted to show you this one. This is my FS2, which is my go-to skin color that I've been using. As you can see, the letters will rub off eventually because they're just printed on there. And I do use this one quite a bit, so I'm guessing that's not going to be on there much longer. But the same thing happens to the caps. I used this one and now it doesn't say anything, and I was like, well, how am I supposed to know which one it is? So this is what it's kind of supposed to look like, only, you know, with this number, FS2. So what I did is I took a sheet that I printed from the Crafter's Companion website. I believe it was on the Crafter's Companion website. I'll put a link to it for you guys. And it was an 8.5 by 11 sheet of these 3/4 inch circles, which basically was designed to combine like 3 different colors and then just kind of keep track of your little color combos. Well, I decided to go ahead and just color. You can see I have the grays here. I just colored, and then I wrote what it was. So I wrote it in just a fine Sharpie, or if the color was really super dark like this first one here, I wrote it with a white gel pen and then punched it out with a 1/2 inch circle punch. Then I took these ultra thin glue dots. They're 3/8 of an inch, and that's how I attached it to my cap. And I only did one side because I don't need it on both ends. So that is why you will notice that my caps all have this little thing on the end, this little circle, which I'm kind of glad that I did, because now I can actually see the true color of the marker. So I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but the cap is actually darker than the actual color is. So some of the caps didn't match up very well at all. So I'm actually glad I did that. I'll give you an example of this one. You can clearly see the cap is super dark and the color is not. So at least now I know the true color of the marker also. And that wasn't, like, you don't have to do that. It was just something I did because I wanted to keep track of what color was what. It took a couple of hours, so it was kind of a time-consuming little job, but one of my sons, Ty, he sat here with me for a few hours and helped me actually do it. So they're all in my little trays, which I actually forgot to grab, so I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to grab the trays that are available for storage. So this is how you can purchase some of the trays. They are also sold individually if you just want to buy a couple of them at a time. But for me, these were on sale and it was actually cheaper to get the 6-pack than it was to buy them individually. So there's 6 trays in here and I have a couple left over. I had to buy 3 and I think I had 4 trays left over. So I'm actually using a couple of extra ones up on top of my others just for storage, but I'm gonna give these 2 to my mom. So this is what the trays look like, and you can actually connect them this way. There's these little slots right here that they will slide right into if you do it right. So like that. So you can have all of your markers this way, which I don't have space for that. So geez, they're kind of hard. Or you can stack them on top of each other like this, which is what I did. But as you can see, this is kind of stacked at an angle, and that's how I stacked mine. I kind of tiered them like steps, so that way I could pull the markers out easier. You can also just put them right on top of each other if that's how you prefer to do, or if that's the kind of storage that works for you. So that's the little trays. They also have these little bags that you can buy, which I did purchase at first and I do not like them. Just personally myself. So these are the Spectrum Noir cases. This is what they look like. So it's just this little like canvas case. You're supposed to be able to fit 36 markers in here, I believe. I don't even know how many. Yeah, up to 36 markers. But for me, it wasn't working very well because they're not stiff. And so anytime I took a marker out, like they just started falling all over the place. So I didn't really like that. That's not my personal preference for storage. So I gave one to Caleb, and we have his, we've got Sharpies and Bics in here, and it's fine for him because he doesn't care about what order his markers are in. I'm a little too OCD for that, and it was driving me nuts that they were completely out of order. So yeah, not going to be using these, but I will use these for something else. Because they're nice little bags, just didn't want them for my markers. So then another thing I want to talk about is the Spectrum Noir blank color sheet that you can download and print out. And this is on the Crafter's Companion website. So this is what the chart looks like. This is the newer chart. They also have an older one that just has like the squares or the rectangles on it or whatever. So this is the new hexagon shaped one. And I have filled in all of my colors, and I absolutely use this as a color guide. Like when I'm coloring, I just pull this out and I'm like, okay, what colors are going to go together? What do I want to use? Whatever. So this is definitely a must-have if you're going to own a lot of these markers. It's way easier to keep track. So, and you can just fill them in as you get them. So the markers are available in 12 6-packs. And the 6 packs, I don't think I have it written down. I don't have it written down. I was not prepared. But the 6 packs include cool grays. So you would get some of the cool grays. It includes so cool grays, essentials, warm grays, pale hues, let's see, browns, yellows. Then there is also greens and turquoises and blues. I'm just going by this little chart here. Then there are purples, pinks, reds, and I think that's it for the 12 6-packs. And then there are 4 24 packs that are available, and none of the colors are duplicated in any of these. So the 4 24 packs are your pastels, your lights, your brights, and your darks. So those kind of complete all of the in-between missing colors from the little 6-pack sets. So yeah, I went ahead, I had the opportunity to just go ahead and get them all at one time. I did purchase them over at Consumer Crafts, which is the sponsor of the Scrapbook Expo. So they had a sale back just after Veterans Day is when I purchased mine, and I hit a really good sale. So I would recommend looking around on the internet, trying to get a good deal, you know, and checking sales and such stuff like that, and you can get them for a pretty decent price, even though they're not as expensive as Copics. So they were definitely in my price range. And what I really love about these markers is they're refillable. So they're kind of similar to a Copic in the ability of blending and being refilled. So the refills you can get on the Crafter's Companion website, of course. And then you can also get them, you can get them at Scrapbooking Warehouse. I haven't really checked Consumer Crafts. I don't know if they have the refills or not. These are the only refills that I have. So I'm slowly just buying a few, and these are basically just the colors I know I'm going to use a lot of. So this is my FS2, which is my skin tone. And I use that, well, I was using the FS5, but I've kind of switched, so I actually have that one anyway. This is the FS1. That's usually my base for my skin. And the IG1, which is the ice gray. It's the lightest gray, and I use that for, let's say, like shadowing. Like underneath here I have just a little bit of that light gray to kind of ground the image. So I'm learning that. And then I have the blue-gray one, so BGR1, just because it's a really pretty blue-gray and it's really light. So I figured I'd probably use that one a lot too. But these, yeah. So refills kind of depend on, you know, what colors you use the most, but I will recommend that you get the Essentials pack for sure. Or if you don't get the Essentials pack and you just want to start out with some colors, definitely buy a blender pen. This is basically just alcohol, and you will, if you're a beginner and you're just practicing and stuff, you will use this a lot. Now, I am very particular about coloring, and I don't like going outside of the lines and stuff, so I'm very careful when I'm doing hair and things that are more towards, you know, the outside of my image. So I do use this to push some of the color back in if I've gone outside the lines, but a lot of times I use this more to lighten up some colors, which I can show in a technique video. So along with this blender pen, the first refill that I ordered is the blender ink refill. So just the alcohol. When I get to that point, I will show you how to refill a marker. I just don't think that it's going to be, if any of them run out anytime soon, it'll probably be my blender that I may have to show you guys how to do. So that's what the little refills look like, and they're in glass bottles. And up here is, this is a, well, let's go ahead and open this. It's a little eyedropper. So the little piece on the top is rubber. I've not opened any of these yet, so let's just go ahead and do that. Try not to make this video too long. I should have opened this before. Oh, now it's going to be like impossible to open. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the bottle, and the little syringe inside, or whatever you want to call it, the eyedropper, is glass. So you just squeeze the little rubber piece and then let go, and it picks up whatever color you're doing, and then you just refill it. Now, like I said, I haven't gotten to the point of refilling, so I don't know what like the max refill is. I'm not really sure. So I will be learning that along with you guys when I need to do a refill. So, and I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert on alcohol markers or coloring by any means. I just enjoy it. So I just wanted to share kind of a different option other than Copics for people who cannot afford to get the line of Copic markers because they are really pricey. So this is kind of just, you know, my experience that I'm going to show you guys along the way with some tips and tricks and whatever that I'm learning. I'm just going to, you know, have you guys go along with me. So I'm going to show you, before I end this video, I will show you the marker storage that I have going on. So I am going to move the camera for a minute. It's going to get kind of shaky here for a second. Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand do this. So my desk, I have a shelf on my desk, whoops, out, not in, that my husband built me. And he customized it to my Stampin' Storage and my Stampin' Up! Hello! My Stampin' Up! Stamp cases and all that stuff. So we customized it as far as size-wise. And it fits the entire width of my desk. So now you can see the little mess over there. So these are my trays, and they hold all of the markers. And up top, like I said, I have 2 trays extra on the top just to hold little things like some of my finished cards, some of my little images that I'm working on. And then this is a little color wheel that you can also download on the website and print it out. So I will go over that when I go over paper and stuff, and I'll give you guys links to all that stuff too. So this is it for the overview of the Spectrum Noir marker. So if you guys have any questions or want to know anything specifically, just leave it in the comments or message me and I will get back to you. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!